Got a little phlegm.
Modern Christian Dads, Season 2. We're about to explode. Just dudes talking news, sports, and God.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Modern Christian Dads podcast. My name is Jeremiah Johnson. Three of us are back from Dallas, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but thank you. We are dudes talking news, sports, and God coming at you each and every week. So thank you so much. Want to encourage you guys to stick with us, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening on the podcast, you can check it out. Facebook Live, we're on there as well. So give us a comment, give us a reaction. We appreciate that very much. So anyway, we're going to dive into great stuff we're going to be talking about today. Thank you. So let's introduce the boys. We'll get into some stuff today. Over on my far right, Mr. Trail Ninja Greg Walden.
Good morning, everybody.
He's got his Mountain Dew ready to go. He's back from Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth. He was, we'll get into that. Okay, and then coming up, we have...
Oh, no.
Kelly Stevens, a.k.a. Lekly Shepents. And I currently have, you can't see this on the video that well, but I made my own custom Who is Lekly Shepents t-shirt.
I'm so honored.
Is that your handle?
So anyway, you guys know that the legend of Lekly Shepents beginning to grow.
It
day
is.
by day, minute by minute,
Yeah.
and very effective shirt. Because, like I was saying, I wore it in the office, but I first came into my office, and the secretary Kelly was like, "Lekly Shepents, who's that?" You know, and then another guy from our church stopped by. He walks in the front door, immediately looks on Lekly Shepents. Who's? I said, you got to listen to the podcast. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, it's going to build. Trust me. Who is Lekly Shepents?
And I need you to remember me when you become the next Ernest P. Worrell. Remember me when you get all that money, man.
Oh, trust me, I'll remember you.
In a bad way.
So if you want a Who is Lekly Shepents t-shirt, I believe that's going to be a merch line someday.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. So a shout out to Rob Vaughn. He's dialing in already. And
Hey,
Dr.
Rob.
Tom
Hey.
Barlow.
What's up, guys?
Rob Vaughn, we're going to tell all our great wrestling stories in just a
I
minute.
can't wait.
All right. So, but I got a new addition to the studio in the back. You can see up here. I'm trying to get my finger right there. But I got these new hubcaps I'm hanging up. Did you notice those, Kelly Stevens? GP hubcaps.
Oh, so nice.
Our home church is called Grace Point.
Somewhere there's a car running around with two hubcaps.
Exactly right. So, church is always
Get them in Texas.
church is always an interesting place, and so specifically, my Mondays are always very interesting. Anyway, the other Monday. This Monday, we got back from Texas, and I pull into the parking lot. I'm not even in the door yet, and I see this black SUV pull up, and it's like honking at me, and it was kind of not the nicest SUV. I'll put it that way, and I was like, oh no. Come on, Lord. I'm not even in the building yet. And so this guy hopped out. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? And I, not totally for sure it was. He's like, hey, I got these hubcaps for you. You remember that Grand Prix, the Pontiac Grand Prix? I was like, yeah, Anyway, hey, you preached a couple weeks ago. Move forward. Grace Point. So I got I found these hubcaps for you. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
He didn't ask me for money or anything like that. And he gave me some free hubcaps to say GP, our home church is Grace Point. How about that?
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Well, that's
Custom
good.
Grace Point
Wow.
hubcaps.
They do look special back here.
And it's original,
So
too.
if you've got a sermon that really touches somebody's heart, you might get a hubcap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
two.
And I got 3 of them. I didn't get
Three,
4
or
of them.
three.
He gave me 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Elon Musk, you never know. Elon Musk may give you a Tesla hubcap down the road,
All right, dudes talking news, sports, and God. But we're going to dive into, we had one of the...
Did you didn't introduce?
No, he doesn't.
Greg.
Oh, Greg Walden, sorry.
No,
The Donut Lord.
No.
The
Seriously?
Donut Lord, Greg Walden.
Yeah, you need this again there.
Okay.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, sorry. was looking at my Mountain Dew. Anyway, we had one of the most epic weekends of our entire lives.
Oh, so did I.
Tom Barlow says there's only one Lekly. That is correct.
Mr. Barlow, you need to change his ID badge. That's all I'm going to say. So.
Lekly.
Does he know about that, Dr. Barlow? Does he know the legend of Lekly?
Dr. Barlow knows everything.
That's why they call him the doctor,
yes.
right? All right.
That's going to be my next T-shirt. The legend of Lekly Shepents.
Yeah.
Enter the legend of Lekly Shepents.
It could be a video game.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we had an epic weekend. We lived out our dreams. Kelly Stevens and I became pro wrestlers, kind of, if you will.
Yeah.
So we went down to Dallas, Fort Worth area, specifically Rockwall, Texas, to work with Christian Wrestling Federation, led by one Rob Vaughn.
Yes.
And we were able to promo the Modern Christian Dads, but also we were able to get in the ring. So let's give our takeaways from the weekend, starting with the weakest of us, Greg Walden, who was not willing to get in the ring.
I was with you in spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know she didn't jump up to help me.
I figured you two had it covered, man. I saw one of the pictures on Facebook, and I'm not trying to throw it on the bus, but like when Kelly was like bent over the guy on his elbow, Pastor's like sitting back there like
Smiling about it.
I'm like,
Okay, Greg Walden, your takeaways from the weekend in general, specifically the weekend of wrestling.
wow, it was an amazing. I really, again, before that, I didn't know that thing even existed until just recently when we went down there. And it was, man, these guys are really athletic. I mean, guys flying over the ring, the top rung, and it was it was good, clean entertainment. Like not like the wrestling today, on TV, but it was good, clean entertainment, and reaching and the outreach toward the community and getting people to come in and getting experience the gospel through that means. Because again, you may not, all these people coming in to watch this wrestling, you may not ever get to go to church, but they'll come watch wrestling, and then that's when they can reach him for Jesus. And they get a clean message. These guys are clean. They're not. You don't see cussing. You don't see them doing
nothing sexual going on.
Nothing nasty. Yep. And so it's good, clean wrestling.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We had a great time. Christian Wrestling Federation. We encourage you guys, check it out. You can christianwrestling.com. They're on Facebook. They do live shows, YouTube channel. A lot of fun. So how about you, Kelly Stevens?
Well, I just want to say I did take command of that ring, didn't I? I mean, when I walked in, they knew it was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
And
tugboat.
Tugboat, yeah. And Rob, bless his heart, he pulled me off to the side and he's like, Kelly, I can see that you're experienced here. And I'd like to sign you up.
Go easy on
like
them?
to sign you.
Yeah.
Go easy on some of the guys. I don't
Paul
want you to
Bearer
hurt
was doing
them.
a lot of twitching when you said that, though.
Yeah. So anyway, Rob and his wife, very gracious. They opened up their home to us and treated us like kings, and the whole group of guys, man, they were just fantastic. Strong Christian men, not ashamed of their faith, not ashamed of Jesus. They preached the message, and it was strong and it was good, and I was, I hate to say when I ripped my shirt off, a lot of them got a little, intimidated. But I'm like, hey, I'm just a man. I put my pants on just like you do. So,
Well, you did get a free when you ripped your shirt off. They did give you you got a free shirt out of it.
quickly.
Immediately after that, yeah.
I was jealous. Like, man, I want a free shirt, man. No.
Well, would you like to hear my take?
Not really.
I laughed the hardest I had ever laughed in such a long time. I was sitting there on the couch and I was watching the video, and I had my headphones on because apparently I was being annoying to my wife. And when I saw you, I saw them mop the floor with you, Mr. Stevens. I laughed so hard because when they hit you and you fell down, I thought I saw you bounce.
There's a bouncy ring.
They dribbled him for a few.
And I just laughing uncontrollably, I was. Oh, yeah.
I think we want another crack at it. I mean, we were
Just get warmed up,
you know, yeah. I mean, we had maybe a little bit different vision of how things were going to go down, and the guy that was supposed to hit us didn't hit us, and it was, you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's our first time.
Yeah. Well,
Not our only time. It was our first time.
I can,
Not our last time.
I can tell you, Mr. Rob Vaughn, when your group comes up here next year, I am not taking it easy on them.
Yeah, our house.
Our
rules.
This is our house.
Our
I'm
way.
the big dog in this house. So
You heard that, Mr. Vaughn. So
Kelly's raising the bar.
My wheels are spinning. I mean, I have some outfit ideas for myself personally, some kind of trademark phrases I'm already developing. So
yeah. Well, all I want
I
is
drank
some
the
shiny
juice.
pants.
yeah,
Some shiny pants. That's all,
that's all you need, really.
Yeah, that's really all I need.
Oh,
but I think wrestling is. Some people would not understand this, but it is an art form. It really is a lifestyle, an art form.
Yeah.
And people live out, and so like one thing for my wife who does not like pro wrestling, but you have to admire and appreciate who these guys are, the whole world of pro wrestling, the desire to do that and want to do it and put your body through that, and it's a very unique genre, sport / art form that's very interesting. But the thing I love is again is that the expression of that art form,
Yeah.
but with Jesus in the mix of it,
Yeah.
with guys who really love God, and we sensed a sincerity in that. It wasn't just like fake. It wasn't like poser Christians, or really guys that really love the Lord, but really love pro wrestling,
Yeah.
and are using that vehicle or using that art form to want to reach someone for Christ. Like, for example, there was one guy, and I'm not going to say this accurately, so rebuke me, Rob Vaughn, later on, but there was one wrestler that his name was Omega. And my understanding was he's this kind of smaller guy, was bullied, picked on a lot. Even, did he mention stuttering or some speech related struggles, to my understanding? But that became the outlet for him to find community, to find guys, to find acceptance, to embrace that art form. But in the process, he begins to grow and connect with God through that
Amen.
art
That's
form.
good.
That's pro wrestling. I love it. I love unique ministries.
Yep.
And like we said, pro wrestling is something now is spanned. It's been around so long that generations and generations. If you're a guy, come on, every one of us that's a guy watched pro wrestling at some point in our life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Watched it, liked it, pretended to do it, practiced it, the belt, like the whole thing. All of us can connect with that as guys.
I beat up on all my baby brothers. I mean, I hurt them.
when they were babies.
Yeah, when they were babies. Then they got into kindergarten. I quit.
Just
Yeah.
I seen the pecking
I was
order
only
here.
kidding. So, did your wife watch your video?
Yes, she did.
And her reactions?
She didn't really say anything much about it. So I made the mistake of sending when the one guy was sharing his testimony and he had shorter shorts on. She's like, "Oh, that's so gross. I can't." I'm like, "Rach, this is the guy that's sharing about Jesus."
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. Moving on.
You need to tell her the story of David and his wife and him having to tell her, I'm going to get even more undignified than this.
Yeah. So, our marriage will be interesting for the next, as I now pursue this side career of pro wrestling,
Yeah.
how she'll embrace that.
I actually think, Pastor, you got a career in that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I want to.
Yeah, I would encourage you.
I think I got some matches in me. Some, not like a lot, not a full career, but I
Yeah.
think I have some matches in me.
I mean, you are 41, so you're not in your heyday. I mean,
Yeah.
that was gone a long time ago.
Yes.
But I think that we can still find maybe some people from a nursing home that
Hey, my grandma was 95 and she won the battle over a tomato.
Well,
Hey.
it's good to have you guys back, I'll say. It was really quiet.
So we really enjoyed it. Check out Christian Wrestling Federation. We hope to get them to the Carthage area next year at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And I think non-Christians will love it. That's the thing I'm really excited about, is that I think people who aren't saved, even people that in my sphere of influence that I've been able to talk to that I know that aren't followers of Jesus, and told them like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to do pro wrestling this week. What? You know, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. So I think it's going to be a great outreach tool. So I encourage Rob, keep doing that. Keep reaching out.
It's good
Amen.
stuff.
And we hope we can bring this area.
Very, extremely entertaining. So,
We might start the whole Christian.
yeah.
We might have CWF,
Yes.
Southern Missouri.
Southwest Missouri.
Hey,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
We at least need a ring.
We do need
Well,
a
I
ring.
gotta ask. Okay. and
We're having a budget meeting Thursday night, so I'm pretty sure a ring's in the.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, well,
In
you
the
gotta
line
work
item
that.
there,
I
so-
meant to ask you guys this. This is one of the questions, and we can move on. But what was it like to actually step in the ring?
It was the most awesome thing.
Yeah, it
I
is.
never dreamed that I'd get to do that and
Yeah.
literally get into a professional wrestling ring.
Right.
Man, I felt
It
like
was
such a stud.
empowered. Empowered.
I mean, all your lives you've been watching it on TV,
Yeah.
and now you're actually get to go in that.
Touch
the
those ropes.
Yeah, and,
Yep.
and you know,
It was
Stand on the
awesome.
turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Feel it. Yeah, it was great.
awesome.
that's cool. That's awesome.
And that's again too. I guess I shouldn't even go here, but you should make fun of me. But I'm trying to explain to any woman that might be listening. You know, what is it? I don't know. What's a woman when she puts on a beautiful dress? She's like, whoa. Stepping in the ring for a guy is like a wow. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what I was made for. Oh yes, this is awesome. So.
Yeah. Well, I did notice too how you cowed down to Captain when he was interviewing you. You know, I mean, he was calling you out because apparently he thought you thought wrestling was fake, and
Yeah,
I seen him slap you a couple times.
I saw you walking back to your seat. after
I
you got
didn't
tossed
get
out
that.
of the-
I didn't get that interview. So that guy I'd like to beat down. No, just kidding. Chair slap that guy.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, well, that's our pro wrestling career. We'll probably put some links on it. We have a YouTube vlog that I'm putting together, a 3-part series. The Birth of Lekly Shepents. Part 1 just was released today. I will upload the next 2 in the next couple of days and then post them on my Facebook page, Modern Christian Dad's Facebook page, etc. So look for that. The Birth of Lekly Shepents vlog, YouTube vlog videos coming out.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be
Awesome.
great.
Okay, we could show one on here actually, but anyway, Dudes Talking News, Sports and God. That's what we do each and every week. So I got a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, I am such a lover of basketball that I apologize to some of you that might be listening. I cannot stop watching NBA basketball. So I know there's Black Lives Matter, etc., but I have to keep watching. So, and my man LeBron James. Looking great.
The Lakers won that nail
Look
biter
like
the
he's
other night.
on.
Yeah.
He looks like he's on the pathway to title number 4. They're currently playing the Denver Nuggets, whom I do appreciate and like. They're up 2-0, and then they will play the winner of the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics in the NBA championship. So I think my prediction. LeBron's going to get that 4th ring, so it's going to be very exciting. We got NFL football back in the mix a little bit. So those Kansas City Chiefs looking pretty decent, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been watching those things. I've been watching some NFL, some NBA. I apologize to those that have protested, but I have not.
The Chiefs had a tight one. They actually won in overtime, but it was
Right.
I, on the other hand, have been going into every fast food restaurant that I can possibly find and just gorging myself. I'm trying to get up to wrestling weight. So
Yeah, we did. You know, we didn't. As far as food, we didn't. We were going to try In-N-Out Burger. We didn't go to Whataburger. We were going to, but we had good food. But
yeah. Well,
Speaking of that.
speaking of that,
Oh my!
speaking of that, we got up, around 80, something like that, and thought, well, we need to go have breakfast, and we're in Rockwall, Texas, and literally there is some of the finest restaurants on every corner.
Oh.
I mean, walking distance.
Sure.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So, but Greg Walden here said, he had a little place picked out that he'd like to take us for breakfast. And I'm like, great. Okay. We get in the car and I'm thinking we're just going to go, down the block or down the street or, it was nice. I just thought, okay, we'll be eating soon. And we was in the car and we were driving.
You get
And driving.
there around lunchtime.
And driving. And driving. Probably about 40 miles later. 40, somewhere around 40 miles.
That's an exaggeration.
Oh, it was closer to 40 than it was a mile. So I mean, literally, I think we crossed 2 time zones. Ended up in Louisiana. And got some biscuits and gravy. So yeah.
But here's the big question: was the food good?
It's all right.
There you go.
It was
Greg Walden and his breakfast, I tell you.
Hey, you drive at 500 miles for a good breakfast, man.
You might.
Okay, but you could eat a Cracker Barrel anywhere. Where else can you eat at Mother's Dollar's Diner? That's what the name was called, Mother's Dollar's Diner.
Yeah, in Forney, Texas, which was about 40 miles away.
Actually, by Google, it was 15 miles.
And the final throwing of, which I thought was kind of funny, we stuck Paul with Greg Walden. So I realized I have shared a tent with Greg Walden, so I understand the snoring issues that he has. So Paul at the end of the trip was like, "You guys set me up. What are you doing?"
Are you mad at me? Did he sleep all the way back home?
He wasn't talking to us on the way back.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
We did threaten to leave Paul in Texas, though.
That's awesome.
Okay, one more story for me. I'm a podcast junkie. I like to find random podcasts. So every once in a while, there's some I really like, and then I get bored with them. I found this one. I don't know that this will become a favorite, but I did think it was funny, interesting. It's called A Hot Dog is a Sandwich. That's the name of the podcast. A hot dog is a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
No, it's not.
But they explore different issues, food issues like that. So the episode I listened to, which was a 40-minute episode, or even longer than that, maybe. Let's see, it was. I'm trying to think. 34 minutes. No, 34 minutes left. This is about 50 minutes. Canned soda versus fountain soda. Which one do you like better? And they rambled for 40 to 50 minutes just on that topic alone.
I like bottled soda better.
I will say that fountain diet drinks are the worst in the world.
Those are nasty.
Yeah, I would much if I was drinking a diet drink, I'd rather drink it either out of a can or a bottle. But fountain drinks on diet, forget it.
Yeah.
They waged war. I mean, I don't mind the fountain, but the can, I think the can is the purest form, because if you do fountain soda, it can get watered down.
Yep.
It can.
And if the mix isn't right.
If the mix isn't right, too much of the syrup, too much of the carbonation, etc. So if I can get it, but it's got to be cold, nice cold can. That's the best for me.
For me, because I was born in the early 60s. That's bad. But it was all bottled. There was no cans then.
Back in the day.
Bottle was the best.
Glass bottle, that's
sure.
great. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you probably drive 40 miles to get.
I would drive 40 miles for a good bottle of Pepsi.
Well, good thing we didn't go for Pepsi on the trip.
Well, I will say I appreciate a good fountain machine. I love the QT, the Quick Trip gas station, because their fountain machines, you can get the cherry or vanilla syrup to put in your drink.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. So what did they come up with? What did they decide was best?
They were half-half. So it was a female host and a male host debating
Oh, that's
the two.
trouble from
They're
the
both
beginning.
on each
I mean,
side of
why
the
would you
fence
go?
there.
Obviously, the guy was right.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, fun
probably won.
podcast. A hot dog is a sandwich. Anything you guys got, we're going to dive into some spiritual talk.
All right, I got one story out of Texas, and then we can go there. This is, since you guys were there, I figured you'd appreciate this. They found my son's fish, the one that got away.
The one that got
The
away.
one that got away. Says marine rescuers in Texas shared video from the rescue of a dolphin that was stranded in a pond 9 miles inland by the storm surge from Hurricane Laura. The Abaddon Coastal Wildlife Network and the personnel from the National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration's Office of Law Enforcement, geez, that's a mouthful, responded to the Cameron Parish when locals reported a female bottlenose dolphin that was stranded. The rescuers found the dolphin that was stranded in a pond 9 miles inland with no access to open water. Rescuers said the mammal was apparently stranded during a storm surge from Hurricane Laura. The team said the dolphin was given a physical examination and found to be in good health before being transported to the local Long John Silver's. I'm sorry, that Gulf of Mexico.
End up in a can of Starkist.
So I figured you guys might appreciate that
That's
since you
great.
all were in Texas. So
Yes.
is everything bigger in Texas?
I think we probably drove by that pond on the way to breakfast.
Hey, you got to see one of the biggest gas stations too, Buc-ee's.
I saw the giant Indian. What was that about?
That was Oklahoma, actually.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, on the way there.
Yeah, as soon as
Yep.
you get off 44 to 69, you got that little town.
Nice.
It's a big
That
Indian
was
right
huge.
there.
All right. Okay. Well, let's hear from our sponsor. Then we'll go right on into spiritual talk.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Johnson. I am the host of Grace Point Daily and the Modern Christian Dads podcast. But most importantly, I have the coolest job of being the lead pastor of Grace Point Assembly in Carthage, Missouri. Our church is about helping people discover a relationship with Christ and your purpose in Him, connecting other followers of Christ together in relationship and living out the mission of God. Why don't you join us for a service next time you're in this area? For more information, service times, and our address, go to gracepointag.org. We hope to see you soon.
That's right.
All right. So we're going to each share a spiritual truth and or something from the weekend or whatever. But the one thing, I can't reiterate enough in conjunction with the pro wrestling is, sharing. I want to encourage guys to use and to share and to express their giftings that God has given them for the Lord. And I hate that religious spirit. Like pro wrestling. It's something that many people could say that's so dumb. That's so, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, some people would, that's dumb. You can't use that as ministry, blah, 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 blah. But, there we are with guys, spending time with guys that love the Lord, that have taken this ministry to other countries, other cities, other people that have gotten saved. He mentioned we went to a church on Sunday morning. I can't remember the name, Lakeview or something like that. Lakeview Church. And one of the girls on the worship team, who was a worship leader in that church, which was a very large church, Rob said, hey, see that girl who's leading worship there? Well, hundreds of people there or whatever that was there that day. She got saved at one of our wrestling events when she was a little girl.
Wow.
And now she's doing the work of the Lord. So you just never know what God can use. And it's amazing how we get so stuck up and stuffy in our Christianity. It's like, don't you remember the Bible of all the weird, random, out there stuff that God used throughout His Word?
Yep.
And then we fail to embrace, awkward, weird things in our culture that God can use. And so I just, we talked about the pro wrestling, but I love when people want to do something unique for the Lord and express that. And I'm comfortable with it. It's obviously I don't view it as sinful, and we've had this argument throughout decades of Christianity. You could go back to the 50s or 60s with rock and roll, and rock and roll was birthed out of sin in a sense, or sinful lifestyle, but it was redeemed, and now there's great Christian rock bands. Again, I have a great friend who's in a Christian rock band, hardcore Christian rock band, and some people, I could just already see it. If I let some people that I know see his band, oh man, they would think it was demonic, satanic, probably borderline. He's using his gifts and his passions for the Lord. So just do that, guys. I don't have this great Bible verse in front of me right now, but you were created with passions and with talents and with things that you really, really enjoy. And, all of those things can be funneled and used in a great way. We had not long ago, I forget his name now, the guy that was the head coach, the basketball player from your school.
Oh, Evan Belk.
Evan Belk, right? He's using basketball as a tool to disciple and to mentor and to reach kids for Jesus, not take them away, point them to Jesus, So as some people can say, well, I don't like football. That's just blah. You just worship that. No, it can be redeemed. It can be used. Oh, that I just, sometimes that religious spirit that spews out of the church drives me crazy. And, it has in music and in arts and in sports and in many ways, sometimes it's pushed some of these people away from the Lord that now are using those gifts that you're like, I mean, just think of that. Think of whatever. Think of if Elon Musk was a radical follower of Jesus Christ and used his gifts for the Lord. Think about the basketball player. Think about LeBron. I don't know. I don't know if LeBron James is a follower of Jesus Christ. To my understanding, he's not. Think about if he used his money, his resources, his social platform for the Lord. Think about if Taylor Swift, I'm thinking, got saved, used her platform. Think about if, that's all it is. It's using your giftings and your passions and those things deep inside you for the Lord. I mean, we're podcasting. That's what I love about YouTube, the social media world now, is like you have some of these guys that are doing things that would never have been done 20 years ago. Mr. Beast, our kids like Mr. Beast. I like Mr. Beast. He has a YouTube channel just giving stuff away, for his 40 million subscribers anniversary. He gave away 40 cars, just like, man, use your passions, your giftings, your talent, and use them for the Lord, and forget those people that want to judge you. If you have a legitimate heart for the Lord, God's put in your heart, do it in Jesus' name.
I think the verse we could use for that would be Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's
do
good.
it for the Lord.
Yep.
I think we have to be careful as Christians, and I know some people do this. They put God in a box. And when you do that, I mean, you're not, you don't, like with the Christian wrestling, some people probably say, how could God use that? But these guys are out ministering. They're getting people saved, and even the rock band. I have a friend of mine who's a pastor who started driving a race car. As a pastor, he's racing and he's witnessing to people in the pits, and guys' lives are changing through that.
Yeah.
Now, to somebody who could be stuffy and religious would say, "Well, that's not godly. Racing's not good." I mean, really, if that legalistic mindset. But God is outside of the box. He's never going to be in the box that you put him in. So. Anyway,
and remember, like what did Jesus say? Go out into the world and preach the gospel. He didn't say sit at church and wait for the world to come to you.
Right.
He said go out there.
Right.
And so they're reaching people like the Christian Wrestling Federation. They're going out into the wrestling community. People who are into wrestling. They're going into that community and presenting the gospel to them, because a lot of those people may never go into a church if they don't get out there and be reached.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, let me just be honest, then just keep your mouth shut. That's all you need to do.
that is true.
Right? If you don't we're harping on pro. If you don't like pro wrestling, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to. There's other vehicles of ministry for you to be involved in, but don't put down the guy that's doing it. Like if Rob Vaughn has a passion for wrestling and the skill and the ability, and he's mentoring young men that are then in turn preaching the gospel and using that art form, that's awesome. Yep. Let it thrive, let it grow. And if that's not your deal, that's not your deal. That's fine. Support it, and then at the end of the day, it kind of comes down, maybe not the best relative scripture, but Paul would say, nevertheless, Christ is preached. Some people preach Christ as a selfish ambition, gain, etc. But Christ is being preached. So, at the end of the day, I can, because there's ministries sometimes I look at and be like, I don't know about that. Jeremiah, focus on you. Focus on what I'm calling you to do. You don't need to waste your time bashing that. There's plenty of ministries, YouTube channels, bashing people and Christians. So I need to focus on me and keep my mouth shut about people that are doing, things in the name of the Lord, So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking that I won't be here Wednesday and Sundays from now on, because I'll be my ministry of fly fishing.
Fly fishing, right? Yeah,
that's a passion of mine. No matter where you're at, no matter what time of the day, you are called to preach the good news.
That's right.
And throughout my career, that I love my career in law enforcement. I mean that when you're in your calling, you know it, and it just feels right. And when I was in law enforcement, that's the way it was for me. And I couldn't wait to share. Once I got filled with the Holy Spirit, I couldn't wait to share Jesus with somebody that I was taking to jail. I enjoyed taking them to jail, but I also enjoyed telling them about the Lord. And I especially liked it when they were receptive and they said yes to to the Lord. And so I don't care if you're working in a shoe factory, you're working in a convenience store, you're working down at Bucky's, his favorite convenience
Beaver
store
Nuggets.
to go to.
Beaver Nuggets.
Share
Not Denver Nuggets, Beaver
Yeah.
Nuggets.
share the
They're better than
gospel
Denver
with
Nuggets.
somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
And you hit on the point there. The goal is like some people can excuse their passions that pull them away from the Lord, not to the Lord.
Right.
You were so passionate about law enforcement, but then that became the vehicle that you were able to use to express the gospel. Not like it wasn't an excuse, because you brought up fishing.
Yeah.
That's what some people would say. Oh, well, then I really love fishing, so I'll just, okay, that's great. You love fishing, but is it in turn, the story would be like, you know what? It's so weird. I love fishing, and I decided that I take other guys with me when I go fishing.
Yeah.
And I've led like 15 guys to the Lord now.
Yeah.
Because of your time spent fishing,
Yeah.
that's the goal, not to be like, well, I go fishing. That's what I like. Okay, well then tell my wife I'm not going to go to church or whatever. The passion should become the vehicle then that you use to minister for the Lord.
That's right.
Yeah, well, the church we were at in Michigan had a softball team, but they didn't play other churches. They played secular teams, just as a witness.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do what they were doing. You get struck out, you don't swear, you just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they used to testify and say it's harder to play another church team than it is a secular team.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's just another example that you could use as, a witness to the world. So
Amen.
I think there's so much creativity. I think there's so many unique talents and giftings that people have, and I was joking the other day, this wasn't even a Christian thing. I was listening to a podcast on the guy who invented rad power bikes, and just passionate about electric bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
And now he has this multiple $1 million, edging towards $1 billion business because he was just passionate about that. Now he's not using that for the Lord, but I'm just, again, everyone, if they would take that passion, I'm reading the Mercy Ships book right now about that young man who had a passion about ships.
Yeah.
Dreaming of ships. What did he do? He took that passion, that passion for ships has now ministered to thousands of people.
Yeah.
Use it, but use it for the Lord, That which you have, use it.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
good word.
All right. Guys, you guys are awesome. I hope you check out the Birth of Lekly Shepents YouTube videos on Grace Point Daily YouTube channel. We'll post, because I can't remember when those videos are coming out that we recorded, because a lot of people are like, oh, was that live? It wasn't live as recorded shows, which are going to come out. We'll make sure and post them on the Facebook page as well. And anyway, you guys got anything else?
No.
Good, man.
Awesome. Lekly Shepents. Who is Lekly Shepents? Kelly Stevens. That's who's Lekly Shepents. You want a t-shirt, send us a message. All right, guys, you're awesome. We'll talk to you next time.